and welcome to Young Turks, the show that's your weekend fix to all things entrepreneurial. I'm Shireen Bhan. Now this week we bring you 3 ventures that are cruising down the entrepreneurial highway with an eye on the growing Indian auto market. Our first guest decided to zero in on the opportunity thrown up due to the lack of infrastructure to cater to post-sale services. The shortage of service centres and high servicing costs have seen roughly 2/3 of the vehicles sold make their way to local garages post the warranty period. Now, most of these garages don't have the technical expertise and really do your cars no good in the long run. So entrepreneurs Venu Donepudi and Vijay Gummad decided to make inroads into the repair and refurbishment space by founding their multi-brand car servicing venture, CarZ, in 2008. Having worked with marquee brands like Ford, Chrysler and General Motors in the US, the duo brings 14 years of combined experience of the auto industry to their venture. Let's take a look at the CarZ story. It was 2007 and Venu Donepudi and Vijay Gummad, then living in the US, were on a visit to India. A movie night with the family and a long drive later, the duo chanced upon their entrepreneurial muse, a damsel who in this case was evidently in distress. The incident set in motion a wheel of ideas, and in 2008 these engineers launched CarZ, a multi-brand car care servicing and repair brand. Offering a complete gamut of services including repair, maintenance, denting, painting, styling and detailing, CarZ touched 12.5 crore rupees in revenue last fiscal and say they have gained their competitive edge by closely studying the market.
We have spent about 3 years to understand the market, starting from South to North India, in the Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 location, going to dealerships, authorized service centers and unorganized network as well. Talking to them, understanding the customers, understanding the spare model, understanding the business model.
And so in February 2010, the key turned on the ignition and the first CarZ outlet opened for business. With each outlet touching the operational break-even in just 2 months, the team of 400 at CarZ now operates 17 outlets in 14 cities across 4 states and has serviced 75,000 cars so far. Jamming the brakes on costs by efficient hiring and lowering corporate overheads, CarZ offers rates that are 15 to 30% lower than other dealers. Offering customer-centric programs like 24/7 roadside assistance, extended warranty program and membership privilege programs, CarZ charges between 3,000 to 15,000 rupees for general repairs. Having raised 5 million in Series A funding from the Indo-US venture partners in 2011, Venu and Vijay are now looking at ways to increase their reach.
Currently what we are thinking is to develop a new model called CarZ Express, which is going to be a smaller version of CarZ, where we can do quick services, any services that can be done in 2 to 3 hours, like oil changes, alignment balancing, value-added services. That is a model that we are currently working on, and maybe after 3 months we are comfortable with the model. That is the model we would like to franchise.
The team at CarZ has its foot on the pedal and will need all the tools in their garage to fuel expansion. Looking to raise $15 million, the car duo is keen to drive across other markets. With an eye on rolling out 244 service outlets by 2018, the team also looks to launch 24/7 repair shops to attract customers with time constraints. And with the revenue share partnership in place for servicing high-end auto companies like Bentley and Lamborghini, Venu and Vijay want to rev up to 25 crore rupees by the end of the year. Venu and Vijay here is wishing you and CarZ the very best of luck with your expansion plans. It's time now for us to talk international. On Vijay International this week, we bring you 2 very interesting stories from the Dell Women's Entrepreneur Network Summit, which took place in Istanbul in Turkey last week. We'll meet a 9-year-old who's raised over $24,000 from the online crowdsourcing portal Kickstarter.com to develop an online video game. And we'll also find out from New York-based online retailer Divya Gugnani of Send the Trend what it takes to build and successfully sell an online business in 500 days. Istanbul played host to the Dell Women's Entrepreneur Network Summit 2013 that saw over 150 women entrepreneurs, executives and angel investors from across the globe come together to share narratives of success, mentorship and philanthropy. And for Dell and Intel, who jointly host this summit every year, 9-year-old MacKenzie Wilson perfectly showcased the philosophy behind this initiative. If she can do it, so can you.
So did he actually help you, your brother? Well, he's the one that said I couldn't, so yes, he did.
And all that the young techie wanted to do was attend a summer camp to develop her own online role-playing game. She needed $830 for it and decided to launch an online crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter to raise the money.
We only needed $829 for just the camp, and then so within 2 days of that, we got like $25,000, and so it was like a miracle kind of thing, so I never really expected it to happen.
And MacKenzie didn't have to look too far for inspiration. Her mom, Susan Wilson, is an entrepreneur and for the last few years has been heading a micro-venture fund called Fund Her that brings the power of crowdfunding to women entrepreneurs.
As a mom, I can tell you one of the greatest lessons was that I've always told my boys the same thing. You could be or do anything, and I've tried to get them to do projects and Kickstarter and just different things, and they didn't believe that it could happen. And then when their little sister did it at 9 and got this huge response in 24 hours and had, you know, Dell reaching out to her and all these people reaching out to her saying, you know, we're behind you, they realized, holy cow, Mom was right.
And this summer, MacKenzie heads off to MIT's Game Lab by special invitation. She's now looking forward to help from the techies at MIT to make her game even cooler. And another young entrepreneur who's learned a thing or two about what's cool and what's trendy is New York-based VC-turned-chef-turned-entrepreneur Divya Gugnani. This Harvard MBA grad started her working life as a financial analyst with Goldman Sachs and moved on to venture capital with firms like Millennium Technology Ventures and First Mark Capital, till her passion for food and fashion took over, pushing her towards entrepreneurship in 2008.
I sat on boards, I was exposed to lots of different businesses, from 2 guys in a garage building a piece of software to companies doing multi-million dollars of revenue. When I set out to start my own first company, I realized just how little I knew.
But Divya says she's a quick learner. She used her training as a chef and her deep social network in New York and Harvard to set up her first online venture, Behind the Burner, a network of over 200 celebrity chefs who shared their best tips, tricks and techniques in the form of short videos, articles and blogs. 2 years later, in 2010, Divya co-founded another online venture, Send the Trend, an online destination for fashion accessories. The portal raised $3 million in funding from Silicon Valley-based Battery Ventures and sold the venture to home shopping giant QVC on day 505 for an undisclosed sum.
One of the biggest differentiators was technology. The way we looked at it is QVC is a premier leading multi-channel retailer across TV and digital and mobile, and we felt like we could leverage some of the brand relationships, the infrastructure, the massive customer base to kind of take our technology and our social shopping experience and marry the two.
While Divya is still at the helm at Send the Trend, she's also started angel investing and says her dollars are gender neutral. But some of the most innovative businesses in her portfolio are women-led, and that is a big change since her VC days. Well, do stay tuned to Young Turks for more inspirational stories from the Dell Women's Entrepreneur Network Summit. It's now time for YT Talkback. Last week we asked you if you thought the entry of global e-commerce majors like Amazon and eBay pose a threat to the growth story of local e-commerce companies. Here are the answers that we like the best. This week, inspired by 9-year-old MacKenzie's story, who managed to raise $24,000 to launch her video game, we thought we should ask if you believe a course on entrepreneurship should be included in our school system. You can post your comments on our Facebook page. You can also tweet us. Our Twitter handle is @ShureenYT. Do remember to hashtag YT Talkback with your answer. It's time now for a quick break on Young Turks. But when we return, Sahdev Goil, who brings you luxury on wheels.